Good morning, everyone. Are we ready to start? Last day of our trip. So I have the honor of opening our final session to wrap up this week's activities with our grand prize winners of the Healthy Aging Prize for Asian Innovation. The trip has been fascinating for me. I've learned so much from our wonderful guests from around Asia. And hopefully we've been able to share lessons from Japan that they can take home to their countries. This week we began with a wonderful introductory session at JCIE by Dr. Yuiko Nagamine, who gave a very nice, compact overview of the very complex long-term care system in Japan and how it's financed and how it's operated. We did that as sort of a background session so that people would understand what they were seeing during the week. From there, we went on to meet with Dr. Jun Sasaki at Medical Corporation Yu Shokai. Now, Dr. Sasaki has a very unique approach and a very holistic approach to medicine and care for older people that I think our participants were very impressed with. But he provides home-based medical care. The following day, we went to Kamakura, and we met with the very renowned gerontologist, Dr. Hiroko Akiyama, who I think all of us were extremely impressed with, always, by her depth of knowledge of this field and by her innovative work in this field, an intergenerational and all-of-society approach to creating innovation. And perhaps one of the takeaways that I had was this idea that aging is not just a challenge, it's also an opportunity. It's a wonderful way to create innovations for society that help not only older people, but help the entire society. We also had an opportunity to visit the town of Imaizumidai, where we saw the efforts that are going on in a very old community in terms of the population age, to revitalize their community and to try and attract younger people to return. We also saw dementia day services there. That was a very unique approach, some of which people thought maybe wouldn't work in their own countries, but some parts of it, in terms of the very open system and very warm system of treating people with dementia, I think can be adapted. We then went to a very different side of things. We saw the Sasayama Danchi, the housing complex for lower to middle income people, which is, again, a very old community, very high level of older people who are low income. And the buildings themselves were old and in the process of, they're about to be rebuilt. So that was a very different side, I think, that we were able to show. And then yesterday, we got to meet with another grand prize winner, Orange Links, and saw the work that they were doing. They're very unique QR stickers for the nails that will help people who wander off get back to their families. And they were thinking about other ways as well that they can innovate and come up with new ideas. We then spoke to the very young mayor of Iruma. And he was very also passionate about working on this issue of older populations. And finally, we visited the Eijinkai Medical Corporation, a private hospital and day service and nursing care facility. So we had a very wide range of opportunities to see how Japan is dealing with its aging population. And I think there were probably a lot of very different impressions and different ideas about how that might relate to China, Vietnam, Singapore, Thailand. So we're really looking forward today to hearing what you were most impressed by and how that relates and what you'll bring back and what you think your own wonderful innovations that were awarded our grand prize can teach Japan. So I'm very much looking forward to today's discussions. And with that, I'm going to keep it nice and brief, and I'm going to hand it over to Momoko to introduce our next speaker. Thank you.
Right, so thank you so much, Kim. So let me introduce actually our first speaker this morning, and it's actually another person who hasn't been joining us for the trip, but it's the winner of our first HAPI prize in 2020, together with FOPDEB and HAPI International in Vietnam. The case itself is by the Komagane city in Nagano Prefecture. And our speaker today is Mr. Tatsuya Hama, who came from the Komagane City Office, the section chief for the Preventive Long-Term Care Office. So their work is mainly about encouraging patients who have suffered from brain strokes to encourage them to do self-management to prevent the recurrence of stroke. So he will be introducing to us about his work and the work that he did together with the hospital in the local context. So, Hama-san, onegai shimasu.
皆さん、こんにちは。私は長野県駒ヶ根市役所の浜と申します。本日はこのような貴重な機会を与えていただきありがとうございます。それでは私の方の発表をさせていただきます。駒ヶ根市は東京から車で約3時間半のところにあります。人口は約3万2000人、高齢者人口は約1万人、高齢化率は約 32% になります。2016年当時、駒ヶ根市で介護が必要な高齢者の原因疾患の第1位は認知症、第2位は脳血管疾患でありました。高齢者の救急搬送の 95% を市内の公立病院が受け入れており、現在もその状況は変わりません。2015年に駒ヶ根市が病院と共同して厚生労働省委託の調査研究事業に協力する機会がありました。その際、病院が寺院の脳卒中の再発、再入院状況を調べたところ、発症1年以内の再発者が多く、そのうち約6割は自力で歩ける軽症であることが分かりました。この結果を受けて、2018年から病院と自治体の共同による脳卒中再発予防事業を本格的に始めることになりました。事業の流れは、まず自力で歩ける軽症者を対象に、病院の専門職が事業の説明を行います。次に自治体で 活動量を計測する機器を用意し、病院の専門職に渡します。事業参加者には無料で活動量計を渡しています。病院の専門職が脳卒中予防ノートを使って患者とセルフプランを作成し、入院中からプランの実践を行います。そして病院退院後、年4回、専門職による面談を行っています。面談では自分で決めたプランがどの程度守れているか確認し、前向きに取り組むための声かけを行っています。こちらが予防ノートの内容になっています。事業開始前、病院職員の意識は、治療が終わったら退院という考えで、入院中のことが中心でありました。それが寺院で再発率を出したことで、退院後の生活に目が向くようになり、病院職員が退院後の面談を実施するようになりました。そして退院後の面談を通じて、入院中の関わりを見直し、さらに入院前の生活状況に目が向くようになりました。事業を始めたことで病院職員に意識の変化が見られました。セルフプランの実施にあたり、入院中から個人で血圧計を用意してもらい、自己測定を促しています。事業参加者の約半数が入院前、血圧を測る習慣がありませんでしたが、セルフプランの実践によって約9割の方が血圧を測る習慣を身につけられました。こうした取り組みによって、それまで入院中のことが中心であった病院職員の意識が、入院前後も含めて視野が広がり、地域の中での役割をより一層意識するようになりました。現在は年2回、事業担当者で事業評価を行っています。事業を始めてから5年間の再発・再入院率の推移になります。5年間の平均は 4.8% で、事業を始める前の約半分になりました。駒ヶ根市の脳卒中入院患者数の推移になります。事業を始めてから減ってきている傾向にあります。昨年の脳血管疾患の要介護度別の1人当たりの介護給付費になります。平均額は1人118万円でした。 脳卒中再発事業対象者の1人当たりの年間事業費は約6万円でした。この事業を始めてから、病院と自治体の連携を強化するため、保健センター内にあった行政サービスの一部を病院内に設けました。行政サービスの窓口を病院に設けたことで、家族の方が面会ついでに介護の相談や介護保険サービスの申請を病院で受けられるようになりました。また、2021年から保健センター内にあった一部の保健サービスを街中の運動施設に移転し、そこで保健指導が実施できる専門職を配置しました。それまでは平日の自治体の窓口時間が利用時間でしたが、移転したことで事務局の利用時間が延長され、休日の利用も可能になりました。活動量計は基本個人で購入してもらっています。一つ3300円です。購入時にポイントによる最大1000円分のポイント還元を行っています。脳卒中のような介護予防事業対象者には無料でお渡ししています。市へのデータ提供に対し、1ポイント1円で使えるポイントを付与する仕組みを設けています。活動量計のデータアップには、医療機関にもご協力をいただいています。昨年までに活動量計を購入された方は延べ2000人になりました。活動量計購入のきっかけの一つに病気の予防ラインがあります。これは東京都健康長寿医療センターの青柳先生の研究成果です。横軸が1日の歩数、縦軸が1日の中強度活動時間になります。病気予防の目安となる1日の歩数と中強度活動時間を出されています。駒ヶ根市で取り扱っている活動量計は、この歩数と中強度活動時間が計測できる機器になっています。駒ヶ根市では、収集した歩数データを生かす取り組みとして、ホームページで年代別の平均歩数が見られるようになっています。これらのデータは定期的に自動更新されます。 まとめになります。駒ヶ根市は地域特性として、高齢者の救急搬送が一医療機関に集中しているため、病院と連携した事業企画実施が進めやすい環境にあります。病院職員が寺院のデータを使って発症1年以内の再発率が高いことを入院中に説明していることが、患者、家族の再発予防への意識を高めていると思われます。退院後6ヶ月以内に決めた目標が守れるようになると、6ヶ月以降も継続できる傾向にありますが、そうでないと継続は難しい印象があります。従来の専門職による指導型から自分の力で少しでも長く継続することを支援する学習援助型のセルフマネジメント支援には、対象者との信頼関係や専門職のスキルが求められると思います。地域で介護予防対象者を把握するのに、医療機関との連携は有効だと思われますが、はい、地域で介護予防対象者を把握するのに、医療機関との連携は有効だと思われますが、軽症者の場合、退院後、支援が手薄になりがちな傾向があります。駒ヶ根市では、公的サービス以外に、自費で利用できる介護予防サービスにも力を入れるため、民間の運動施設などと連携も進めています。今後は脳卒中で入院してからの再発予防だけでなく、脳卒中で入院しないための保健指導にも力を入れていきたいと考えています。以上になります。ご清聴ありがとうございました。
Yes.
Well, the earthquake right now is just a very small one with the Richter scale of 4.2 at the Kanagawa prefecture, so it should be no problem. すいません、日本語で質問させていただきたいと思います。素晴らしいプレゼンありがとうございました。この中にいくつか非常にインプレッシブなポイントがあったんですけど、3300円で購入したやつをこのポイントで還元するというようなこのマイレージ方式といいますか、非常にインセンティブがあっていいなと思っております。これ何かまず質問とコメントをさせていただきたいんですけど、質問はどこかになんかモデルがあったのかどうかですね、このようななんか参考にするモデルがあったのかどうかを、この導入に際してですね、それが私の質問です。私海外7場所を住みまして、北京にいるときにですね、1日というか毎月200キロ以上走ってたんですね。200キロ以上走るってことは1日7キロで大体1万歩なんですよ。さっきのように1万歩を切るとメタボリックシンドロームってあって、結構僕はショッキングだったんですけど、あんだけ努力してこんなもんかみたいなっていうのがあったんですけど、一方で一歩 歩くと1秒寿命が伸びるとかも言われまして、これは将来のための貯金だと。健康への貯金だと。で、これを裏返すとですね、その前にちょっと、どっかにあったかもしれませんけど、よく言われてるのは、医療費削減するんだったら予防にもっと力を入れた方がいいと。ただそれをクオンティファイ、定量化して証明するのが非常に難しいんだと。何でもそうですけど、病気になってから医療費かけるんじゃなくて、本当はその前にやればものすごく安いと。我々移民のあれも担当してるんですけど、シリアの問題で、シリアで経済的に困っている人に援助をするのは1日何十セントで済むと。ところがドイツまで来ちゃうと1日何十マルクじゃない、何十ユーロ必要になると。100倍必要になっちゃうと。何でもそうですけど、非常にプリメンティブメジャーをやると非常に効果的だと思うんですけど、そういう意味で先ほどのマイレージ方式っていうのが、例えばこれだけ健康にいいことを歩いたら、1万歩歩いたら税金が少し安く、保険料が安くなるとかですね、なんかそんなようなののヒントがここに隠されているような気がしたんで、何か参考になった事例があったのかどうかっていうのが私の質問です。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。今は多分全国的にもこういったマイレージ的な、インセンティブを取り入れているところっていうのは結構あるんじゃないかなというふうに思っています。で、駒ヶ根市が始めたのは、2018年から、始めていますので、もう何年か、経っています。で、この取り組みは個人ごとに IC カードを用意しておりまして、それを、にポイントを入れるんですけども、それが、地域の商店、だいたい市内100カ所くらいあるんですけども、そういったところで、その IC カードを出すことによって、1ポイント1円で、ポイントを使うことができるという制度を2018年から、始めたものになります。で、一般的には、どれだけ歩いたかっていう歩いた量に応じて、ポイントがつくやり方をされているところが多いかと思いますけども、駒ヶ根市の場合は、どんなに年を重ねても、ポイントがもらえるようにするために、月1回、近くの、活動量計をデータ送信する健康ステーションに出かけていったことに対して、ポイントをつけるという仕組みにしておりますので、年齢では92歳、93歳の方が、月1回ポイントをもらうために、出かけていくということで、外出支援、どれだけ歩いた量に対するポイントとしてしまうと、年を重ねてポイントが減ってしまうんですけども、年を重ねても、同じポイントがもらえるという仕組みを、駒ヶ根市では、設けています。
ありがとうございます。我々よく言うんですけど、イクイタブルっていうのはフェア&リーズナブルだと。イコールじゃないと。私がタイガー・ウッズとゴルフスクラッチでやったら負けるのは分かってるんで、ハンディキャップを加味したのが公正、イクイタブルだと。ですから、70歳の、例えば私が63歳ですけど、63歳の1万歩は多分90歳のもう100歩か1000歩か知りませんけど、そういったのが僕は想定してたものだったんですけど、先ほど言ったことに対してポイントがつくとかっていう、非常に素晴らしい施策だなと思いまして、感銘を受けました。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
Thank you again. 浜さん、すみません。日本語で。浜さん、本当にありがとうございました。素敵な、ご講演をいただきました。ちょっと、okay. Let me, because I have everyone's presentation photos now, so I have to include, I just finished compiling it after receiving it from you. So I will change the file right now, but meanwhile, maybe can I have Kun Sawang making preparation, because you will be the first one to make the presentation. Yep.
At the podium? Or?
At the podium, yep. Yep. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Just photo and then.
There's 3 photos here. Okay. Yep. So moving on to the presentation by our participants of the study tour. The format is I've asked them to select 3 photos from the trip that they found impressive or something that they would want to bring back to their own countries, or other than learning from the sites, also maybe sharing things that they learned from each other. So our first presenter will be Kun Sawang from Phop Dep, Thailand. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Sawang Keokantha from Executive Director of Foundation for Older Person Development, and I will feedback what I've seen 2 days ago and what can I take away home. The first picture that the photo that I was impressed here is the we are concerned about the long-term care and the people with dementia. Well, it is not the predominant in Thailand right now, but the existing in this. The older people lost, and there are some organizations like how to find the lost older people. But for my idea, that's the end of the problem. How can prevent them not to get lost? So there are many ways. For example, like what we have done in Chiang Mai is the community-based volunteer who put an eyes on older people who need help or with forgetful, if you like. And this is one of the device that can help with the what you call QR code. The QR code. Okay. In Thailand, they have the wrist band, but if you put anything to the older people, they will deny because something else. But if you put something very tiny on the hand or on the nail, people hardly even see it. So I think if we educate the people who need this and the family to understand the useful of it, I think it is acceptable. I'm quite sure as a trainer. So as we encourage them and the family and the community. And in Bangkok, the doctor who work on this, instead of looking for or chase up the lost old people, but she built up the community, make the community understand what the situation of the behavior of the people with dementia. And that, to keep the dementia is normal, is not something strange from the other. So if the community understand that, so the people with this dementia can live in the community lively and friendly. So this is, again, it is age-friendly city if you can build it up. So that's why I start with this. And this very important point that we learned from the presentation yesterday or the day before, that the older people, to me, why older people get shrink or thin? Okay, maybe by seniority, because of the old age. That's a normal. The people, general people, is normal. See it as normal. But if you think think deeply, particularly the older people who live in shanty town or a congested area where the family member go to work in the morning and come back in the evening and see that, oh, my father, my mother didn't take food, and he or she didn't know why. But if we give the education to community, to family caregivers, or the community of volunteers, to understand this, they would understand and why the older people didn't take like a food intake, not insufficient food intake, if you like. So this is a very good diagram that I can. Actually, about 3 months ago, I talked to the home visiting team from the Department of Family Medicine, Faculty of Medicine, Chiang Mai University, about this. And they said, oh, I understand, but they don't know how to start with. So I can encourage them to think about this. So this is a very useful, and to give, to provide enough food intake and with quality food for the older people. Sometimes it's not just they don't like the taste of the food, but the oral health might be malfunction. For example, like what we call the not complete the teeth. I myself lose some teeth as an older person, and this is a good one. And the next one is this is a good choice. I work as the community-based care. So older people live in Thailand, I think in other countries in Asia as well. They want to live where they were born. So they want to go away from where they get used to it. For the young people, you may travel to other places for education, for whatsoever, but they can make new friends. But older people, they don't need new friends. They want the old friend. They can yell from the neighbors, yell to the neighbors, their friends. So they want to be there. And if no choice, or if someone they need help, a daycare center or day center is one of sorry, come up. And it's the way out, one of the ways out. Okay, thank you very much. 7 minutes that you me.
Please stay there for if we have any questions for
3 minutes.
So yeah, 3 minutes Q&A. So thank you for keeping the time. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Like it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, we will have time for discussion at the end. So if you think of any other things, then please we can discuss again. So thank you very much, Ms. Sawang.
Thank you.
Yes, so next we have from Help Age International Vietnam, Tui, who will be sharing her 3 photos. So Thank you. And the format is 7 minutes presentation followed by 3 minutes Q&A, but we will still have discussion at the end, so we can save it for the next as well. So please just press this.
Hello, can you hear me? Yes? It's really difficult for me last night to select which are the best or the photos that I'd like to present today, because there's so many things. So every section is something that I learn, and so I come up with 3 photos. The first one is in the first presentation. I really impressed with the Japan very comprehensive policy framework, and it is the integrated, it is a preventive, and more it is a community. It's bring the services to the communities. So this one is I really impressed, and I think that is what I can bring home, because in Vietnam the model that we are implementing now is also have something like this. So it's intergenerational self-help clubs, and it is at the community levels. It brings people together, and then they enjoy with each other, and they work with the government, they work with the other stakeholders in the community to build their own communities that meet their own needs. So that is what I really impressed, and I love it. And here I can learn from here. And the first takeaway is for aging issues, we cannot work alone. That is multi-sectoral requirement to work together. It's not just the people, not just the community groups, it's not just the government, not just the private sector, not just the academies, but we work together. And in this one, the role of the media is also important. You know, because every government, no government, even Japan, you are very leading in aging issues, but I do believe that no government is confident that we are strong in responding to aging. When I said that responding is not just to provide care and support services for older people, but also to take advantage of aging. Yeah, like you said earlier, Kim, yes, that is the challenges, but also it's a great opportunities. That's untapped opportunities, the untapped resources of the unaged and aging society that we have not utilized and have not utilized all the resources yet. So by working together, by bringing all the stakeholders to work together, we can do many things. Yeah, and the resources are there in the communities. So if you can utilize the resources, then we have the answers, we have the measures. So not just scared of aging. Yeah, it's there, and it is the achievement. It's a great achievement of human being, just how we respond to it. Yeah. So this is the first of my photos. And the second one is I really impressed. It's a living lab. It's also related to the first question, the first photos as well. Co-creation. That is a key word here. Again, all the stakeholders working together. But here we can see that it's something like prevention and also preparedness here as well. Yeah, when we talk about living lab, it's not just for old people. It's for everyone, young and old, and everyone there in the communities. And we can see here is that everyone join together. Again, that is a message. Yeah? We cannot work alone. We have to work together. And each and everyone has a role to play in this one. Yeah, and we can be successful only when we co-create together. I'm very impressed with this visit when we see the intergenerational approach, raise awareness of the young children, What do they want their future when they reach 80 years and above? What they want their community, where they want to live, what they want to do, how they want others to behave to them. So like a vision or something that they should think in advance. And that is the two values. First, for them to prepare, and also for them to be more like understand their parents, their older grandparents now. So it's very, very good one. And also, by working together, we can be successful only when we apply technology and promote the innovation. And if we work alone, then we can be successful, but only at the very small scope. But we work together, then we can scale it up and can bring benefit at the larger scale and more cost-effective. It's a greater impact as well. And the last one, this one, nutrition. I think that nutrition is also the measure of preparedness and prevention for self-care, not only for older person, for everyone. If I think we are now talking more about the like-cost approach, right? So if from the young we have the good health, we have the good nutrition, we have the good health, we can have the good innovation up for self-care, like we just heard from the first presentation, then we can have the good health later on. But more important, the food is only good or have the value when we have the great accompaniments. So in this trip, we have the great accompaniments with us. So with this, I would like to thank the organizer for your very great, wonderful care to us. The great organization of meetings, of visits, of logistics, of everything, and the food as well. So every day is different. So I told my colleague that I will gain some more weight after this this week. Yeah, because I ate too much. At home I ate only 2 meals, but here sometimes I ate 3 meals. So I cannot stop myself because of the great food and the care and the accompaniment with others, fellows here. So thank you very much for this. And I think that I can bring a lot of things here from home, but I think that Japan is much ahead. Compared to us, Vietnam, we have really, very limited resources to respond to aging. You are like exemplary and also the vision for us to look forward. But through your principle, like preparedness, innovation, technology, co-creation, all of these things, we can apply this principle in our own resources. We cannot apply own because, for example, you have the long-term care insurance, but in Vietnam, we struggle. We cannot have because we have still low income. Even for the people, it's really hard for them to pay the premium for the health insurance and social insurance, not talking about long-term care insurance. But we will find a way. So that's why I think that through this visit, I more value the model that the government of Vietnam and us are working now is the intergenerational self-help clubs, where they use the community strength, use the community resources, both human in cash, in kind, and expertise to work together, and then do physical exercise every day, nutrition, self-care, care with each other, and promote the social connection, social interaction. So as you mentioned earlier in the first opening speech, that the social connection is very crucial for the well-being of everyone. So that is what I would like to share with you, and a lot of take home, a lot of learning. And thank you very much again for all of this wonderful trip. And looking forward to many trips in the future. I wish that in each of us, there will be the one trip for others to come. So we can learn more in other contexts as well. So maybe Japan is the first one, but maybe you can think about the next, about China, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, to different contexts. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tui. Yesterday when I received your photos, I was so happy when I received the one with the food because I know it will put so many smiles on people here. So, do we have any comments for Tui or questions? Yeah, pushing ones. Okay, fine. Yeah, I guess everyone has to take some time to digest like what you've mentioned. So let's have a discussion later on. But our next speaker, actually, I will be just changing the slide. But we had Lillian from Singapore, but unfortunately she had a business meeting with the Ministry of Health in Singapore. Today, so she had to go back to her country last night. So I hope she's now having like a really successful meeting there. So but my colleague actually heard her comments regarding this trip, and Stephen here will briefly share her comments with us. So.
Hello. Oh, great. So of course I cannot replace Lilian. She's a very well-spoken person, but I'll try to share some of the thoughts that she shared with Kim and I on the bus ride back yesterday. She was kind enough, instead of taking a nap, to speak with us the whole ride back from Iruma City. So I think kind of three things that struck me about that conversation that she mentioned learning through this trip were kind of, one, the value of this kind of gerontology perspective in approaching how to deal with or how to care for older people, and that when we think about aging, it requires kind of a holistic approach and a kind of multi-dimensional perspective in terms of how you care for an older person, that, you know, as you age, you sort of enter a second life, and you need to think about things in a different way. And she mentioned in particular the meeting with Dr. Sasaki helped her to think about this, that, you know, we tend to treat diseases as kind of compartmentalized, and you need this kind of broader perspective to understand the context of the disease, and that you need to think about how treatment may differ in those cases. The second one that she kind of mentioned that this trip made her think about was the question of sustainability of programs. So she sort of mentioned that, and I think we've seen this, a lot of programs are driven, a lot of innovative programs are driven by a small group of kind of champions. I think that's what we have in the room today, is our aging champions here. And one thing that worries her is kind of what happens as those champions get older as well. And so when we went to Sasayama Housing Complex, we met with the members of the kind of community committee, the board for this community, and they're all getting older, and it's not clear what the succession plan is, and she had a lot of questions about that while we were there. So I think that was something that she's thinking about, is how do we secure sustainability for good programs. And then maybe a third one that's not so much something that came out of this trip, but something she shared with Kim and I that I thought was very interesting, so I wanted to share with the group, was this kind of, she explained this way of thinking in Singapore of what she called the no wrong door policy, which is this idea that when people are trying to access services, often it's very complicated, right? So, you know, you go to one place and they say, oh, you've come to the wrong place. You need to talk to someone else. We can't help you. And so when kind of thinking about services for people, how do you make sure that they don't end up in the wrong place or kind of bounced around to many different places? And so the idea is this no wrong door. Whatever door you open, they will get you to where you need to be, rather than kind of sending you knocking all over the place. And that's something that they are thinking about in Singapore, is how to coordinate a system like this. And so I wanted to share that with the rest of the group. So that's it. I probably cannot answer questions on her behalf, but I hope that was helpful.
Thank you, Stephen, for sharing Lillian's voice. So moving on, let's go back to the presentations by the photographs. And following this is Dr. Dawn from Bangkok Metropolitan Administration. One point I like about this group is that it's really intergenerational. We have all the various age groups, and I guess he is like one of our young hopes. So let's hear from him.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today. I am Don Sonsin. I'm a doctor from the Health Department, Bangkok Metropolitan Administration. And Bangkok Metropolitan Administration is a local government. And I think I'm not the youngest in this group, yes. And I think I learned a lot from this trip. So let me introduce Bangkok. So Bangkok, the population is more than 6 million people, and we have 50 districts. 50 districts, it feels like a small city in this area. So, and Bangkok is a capital city, capital province. So it's so urban and it's so challenging for the health sector to provide all of healthcare, all of health service to the resident. So the first picture that I shoot is a home healthcare This lecture provided by Dr. Jun Sasaki, and I'm a doctor. I am a doctor and work in the public health center. So my workplace is not at the hospital, but in the community, same like him. And I like this picture because it shows that it is a comprehensive care. Not only treat the patient at the hospital, but we should shift, because now many people in the village. So we need to shift the workplace from the hospital to the community. So you can see the picture that is in the service include the treatment, check-up, rehabilitation, also emergency response, emergency treatment as well. So I'm so surprised that he can provide the emergency treatment at home and for 24 hours. And this picture shows that home healthcare can minimize the dependency on hospitalizations and maximize the quality of life and better lifespan. And this picture, in Thailand, we do it because I think in Thailand we have the good primary care system. We have a good primary care system, but in Bangkok, that I mentioned first, is so challenged because we have more than 6 million people, also the immigrant. And we think now, because I work in the government sector, I think government sector cannot provide all. So we should need to invite the private sector, like private clinics. And Dr. Jun Sasaki is a private, not from government sector, right? And now we also have the many private clinics in Bangkok, but most service provide only OPD, but not home health care. So now we need to think about how to persuade the private clinic to join and to provide all kind of care to the community, to the people. And I think it's because in Japan, the one thing that very good in Japan, because Japan have long-term care health insurance. So it's a keyword. But in Thailand, we don't have long-term care insurance. We have just only universal health coverage, just ordinary health insurance. Yeah, but actually the private clinic can reimburse the money if they go to the patient home as well. And the second photo is I like this photo because it's a daycare center for the dementia persons. And like in Thailand, we also have many daycare centers as well, but I think most are the private daycare center, not public daycare center. And the one thing that I like is they try the elderly go out, not stay only in their homes. So swipe the floor, clean the bath to empower their self-value empower their function to go out. So that's why I like this photo. And I think, how can I say, that I mentioned that most activity have only in their home, but I think in the future, in soon, Thailand, also Bangkok, plan to have their own daycare center in Bangkok. So we want to include this kind of activity in our daycare center. And the last one is, I like this photo because the activity, lice emoji, something like that, lice emoji. And because, how can I say, but the activity, this picture shows about the multi-generational activity. So in order to promote the health, both physical health and mental health, we should have like a social participation and should connect between generations. Not only now, I think all around our world, most, for example, if we want to have some activity for elderly, the participant is only elderly, but we should include more. And I think in Thailand, honestly, we also have this kind of activity around Thailand because most Thai are Buddhists. Most Thai are Buddhists, and we can link with the religious. So actually, Thai people, elderly, like to go to temple. And we have such kind of activity in the temple. But now, due to the urbanization, so in Bangkok, it's very difficult to find this kind of activity in our area. And now, because I'm come from BMA and Dr. Chachat, sorry, okay, thumbs up. Dr. Chachat, the Bangkok governor, he think that, we should have such kind of activity in Bangkok. So he hold like a concert for all people in Bangkok, or he have such kind of the market for elderly like that. But I think this picture show me about the social connectedness, right? Because if we just provide the activity have like concert, and if the activity finish, that's all. But this activity can run sustainable. Yeah, that's okay. Because now it's time's up. So thank you for today. Thank you for this week to having me. And I learned a lot from all you guys, not only from the Japan, but for the many countries that I join and talk and chat together. Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ
Okay, thank you, Dr. Don, and I'm really intrigued by everyone that they're actually keeping the time so closely with their timer. So thank you. I'm starting to think maybe we can keep all the questions and discussions to the end, actually, like to hear the presentations first. So.
So for regarding the home medical care, you mentioned the first picture, that is covered by medical healthcare cost, not by long-term care insurance. Yes, so that can be possible in Thailand, I think.
Thank you for the comment. So yes, we can move on next to Dr. Tinan from Bungitu Municipality, and from this Bungitu Municipality, and together with the joint work of Nogezaka Gloko and the Yugawara Municipality, we have Mr. Okui as a participant from Nogezaka Gloko as well. But we would like Titinan-san to make the presentation as a group. So thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Titinan Napu, I represent from Bungitu Municipality in Thailand. I would like to share 3 photos, activities to show what I learned from this study trip. Every photo I took them by myself. I'm not quite good photographer like Mr. Swang, but I try. My photo may not be perfect, but full of good memory. First photo. I showed this photo is one of a slide presentation from Dr. Jun Sasaki. When we listen on home-based medical care topic, we will see same disease compared in young and older, right? Sometimes we can't manage it in the same way. Some disease in younger look not serious if it occurs in one problem. We can treat directly in this problem, but older different from younger. Some disease occur in one problem, but it can involve other system in their body. It have to manage in multiple problems. It seems like when we analyze problems in Japan and see how they resolve problems, we can see you have good management, good system, good process, good innovation, and good co-creation that very suitable and proper for Japanese people. However, same problems, but if we focus in Thailand, maybe it can't manage in the same way. In Thailand, we lack of some of resource like Japan, and something we have to wait time for development. So one of the best things that I learned from this study tour is make me understand more in perspective of different. Japan is the best practice area for Thailand. Even we can't copy all things to make in our country, but we can adapt and apply lots of things for develop our services, our process, our system, or our policy in suitable way for our country. Second photo, I took this photo at Imaizumi, right? Imaizumi Care Center, yeah, for older adults with dementia. I have been Japan several times, but almost I go to travel. But this time is make me very seriously because I really worry in my English skill. I can communicate basically in English, but when I see Japanese older adults, it touch my heart. And there are many simple ways to make we know each other more, not only language. All of us know the adult really happy when they saw us. They often smile and hug us, and they talk too much of anything in Japanese, and I understand meaning, but I know they love us and they're sincere for us from inside of their heart. It's such a beautiful thing that make me aware we can be friends with other person in this world. Even we have different language, even we have different culture, we only have love and sincere for other is the most important thing. And the last photo, everyone will see this study tour is very intensive. We discussed even we on the dinner table. Yeah, I saw every participant really interested in every side visit, and we share a lot of opinion and questions from side by side. I got a lot of good points from each participant. It's a good change that make me have more connection with participants from the best practice area. And I really want to say I'm very honored to be here. I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to join this study tour. I hope that this study tour brings several countries such as Japan, China, Vietnam, Singapore, and Thailand in terms of cooperative partner for the elderly development in the future. And finally, I have been fascinated with Tokyo ever since I arrived. Japan is such a beautiful country, enriched with culture and long history, lots of delicious foods, and they are full of friendly people, especially all of the CIE staffs. Thank you so much for make me wonderful memory here. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Titinan. I'm sorry, you guys. The tour really was intensive one. We discussed even over lunch and dinner, but really, again, I wanted to thank all of the participants, like active participation. Like I guess the tour on Tuesday and Wednesday was the most intensive one. Like we gathered at 7:30 a.m. in the morning and only went back to the hotel in the evening. And I guess it was really tiring for the participants, but really thank you everyone. So, but I guess we have a minute to share. So, is there any, for example, comments from, or additional comments from Mr. Okui? Like, yeah, because on behalf, we asked Dr. Titinan to present, but if you have any additional comments. Japanese is also
thank you very much. I am Okui from Nogezaka Local and collaborate with Bunito City, but not only Bunito City. We collaborate with 26 municipalities in Thailand and now expanding, right? Yeah. So anyway, according to the Dr. Titinan last night, she said we'd like to share not only this study tour, not only in Bunito. She would like to share another our network municipality also. Yeah. Anyway, this is a very fruitful, meaningful occasion, I think. Thank you very much.
Thank you for a comment. Okay, next I would like to invite Sebastian from Beijing to give his presentation. And this morning I received his presentation, really. Actually, no worry. Yes, no worry. He actually came up with a really beautiful presentation, actually, and really informative as well. So I hope we could all share together. Please.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So everything is not finished yet because of the limited time we have. I could not really give some deeper thinking, but I would try my best to explain what I have in mind. So thank you, Momoko.
No problem.
So my topic is elderly service program improvement. Now, a little bit about myself. My English name is Sebastian. I'm a senior living operating manager in Beijing, China, also a culture enthusiast. So before we get started, it's just something that came to my mind that I want to share. Where there's a service system, there is a sustainable safety net. Now, what is the definition of sustainable safety net? If you try to look for it from the internet, you will not be able to find it because I made it up. But I borrowed the concept from the social safety net. So there are three key elements, in my opinion, that plays key roles in explaining the definition of sustainable safety net. The first one is people getting involved and problem-driven, and most importantly, it's always ongoing. So it's not one problem is done, it's solved, then we stop from there. Oops. Yeah. So, in my own opinion, in a good elderly service system, older adults must feel safe, right? So that is, by saying that, I mean physically, both physically and psychologically. So it's not there's just the environment, but mentally they feel like the compassion, the welcome that people from the caregivers and people Sorry, I got up so early. I have something in my mind, I couldn't say it. But anyway, and they got to have a sense of fulfillment. So the sense of fulfillment is feeling of happiness and satisfaction. Anyway, so the first picture I'd like to share is the Aijin Kai Adult Daycare Center. And the reason I want to share this picture with you, they're all on the slides. First of all, it's a daycare center that is separated from the hospital next to it. So they're very close to each other, but when you actually go inside the daycare center, it does not look like a hospital at all. To me, that's a good thing, because all the daycare participants, they do not want to be treated like patients. Yes. And I'm pretty sure, because I saw like they're like the board saying, you know, their schedules of a meeting occupational and physical therapists. But if you take a close look, you could barely see any doctors dressing the white coat, you know. And that kind of makes them feel like, oh, we're not patients. We're just here to having our activities. In the meantime, they receive the care. So like what I said, why is this important? Because a skilled nursing daycare program, so we have so many different types of daycare programs, but in this case, the one we just saw is a skilled nursing daycare program, can provide comprehensive medical, nursing, and personal care services combined with engaging social activities for physical and or cognitively impaired adults. But the daycare, adult daycare healthcare services should be designed to promote socialization, stimulation, and maximize the patient's independence while enhancing quality of life in the first place. So daycare centers does not necessarily have to look like a hospital. And it's just a little bit of something that came to my mind. If you take a close look at everybody, they still wear masks. And we, as the visitors, we also wear masks. And we've been told that we have to follow the policy, which I understand because it's the winter time and it's the flu season. However, when I saw there were like two male older adults lying on a armchair taking a nap, and they were still wearing a mask. So what do you think? Like adverse effects of prolonged mask used among elderly, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Also, is this policy mandated or is this just recommended? So you don't have to wear one, but if you want to, you can. So the next picture I want to share with is I found this map during our second day visit to Sasayama Prefectural Housing Complex. And if you take a close look at what the map is about, is a Hodogaya World Disaster Prevention Map. And I'm sorry that the picture is not quite clear, but I actually saw this. All the evacuation points are either elementary or middle school. Now, this is something interesting because I don't know like the logic behind this, but from what I understand is either they're really close or because they're the place for the students and they're the future. So we have to make sure their safety are protected first. But you could see none of these, the evacuation points are the government buildings or mayor's office. And the reason I said this is because of this tragedy that happened exactly 2 days before our visit, which is food for thought. So, and while we were there, we're being introduced that, so a lot of these buildings are over 50 years old, and most of their neighbors are older adults themselves who are age 65 and even older. So just in case of emergency, if some of the older adults, older residents living on the top floors, we just saw the map, but who will help them to transfer from where they live to the safe place? Now, remember this gentleman said some of the students where like they have like 10 rooms for 10 apartments for students waiting in line that they're applying to live in this neighborhood. So what I would do differently if I were the policymaker or if I were in charge of that region is I would probably make some easy renovation and make sure like there are more applicable candidates. But how to get there, that's a different story. And then remember the gentleman said it's not easy because a lot of the residents, they don't want more people to come because they have air conditioning and the local residents have to buy their own. So that requires effective communication. And then step 2 is, like what I said, the National University of Yokohama will have the students to live there, and because it's cheaper than living on campus, so in exchange, they will have to be responsible to contribute to the community. And then the step 3, I took the liberty to say that maybe we can borrow some concept from our grand prize program. It's called the Longzhen one-stop community service model. So the young people would become liaisons of the older adults who, have trouble going to the center to attend the meetings. So they don't really have to, communicate through like an app or smartphones. They can just call each other. It's easier for everyone. And they have to do some drills and to make sure like this is workable. This is just an example of, it does not necessarily apply in this situation, but I'm pretty sure, even without competition, there are some tools that they can use to analyze whether this plan is workable or not. So for example, the strength of this plan is because it's cheap, so it is close enough to the campus, so the students, they can come and fulfill their duties, something like that. I don't even have enough time to sort it through, but this is like the very first impression of mine. Anyway, and the third picture. Professor Akiyama said, now I was having a conversation with her, and I forgot what exactly did I tell her. I said maybe some of the older adults in China, they retired like in their 70s or something like that. And she said, I'm 80 now, I still don't want to retire. So, which is quite inspiring. And then if you take a look at the slides that she shared with us, for the Living Lab, they have now finished the first stage and they're on their way to start the second stage. And she said, don't be afraid of failure, learn from failures. So, what is the spirit of a true gerontologist? Never satisfied with stage 1. And if an elderly service program succeeds, we continue to make progress. We go to stage 2. But if we fail in our attempt, we will admit it frankly and try another. But above all, we must try something. So in the future, I hope when I introduce myself to people, instead of senior living operating manager, culture enthusiast, I can have another new title. I would identify myself as a gerontologist as well. And with that being said, it's the end of my presentation. Thank you, everyone. We can save the questions in the comments.
We can say what is okay. Thank you for the inspiring presentation as well. So, I guess you had one question on the evacuation method. Like, why is it elementary school or junior high school? Is it possible to have some answers from? I know it's not your expertise, but generally, why is it? The 避難マップがなんで小学校と中学校なのか。避難所が。
when the disaster happens. It's usually viewing schools.
Why schools? Why not the parliament or government hall?
Because they like the location of the general, like the location of the community general support center. School district is walkable area, so that's why.
So for old buildings like the building complexes we just saw, I'm pretty sure they're earthquake proof, right? The structure, the frame. However, they're more than 50 years old, and without installation of any elevator, if somebody live on the 4th or 5th floor of that building, and that person has a problem getting down, who's going to help them in case of emergency? That's something that they should think about in this program.
And also, and not only because that is walkable area, but also through children. Usually in that community, connection is really tight. So not only for not only between people with children, but also with the family without children. So I think that could be.
So that's why this thought came to my mind that, since there are already like 10 apartments open for the students of National University of Yokohama, why not having more students coming in and become a part of this old neighborhood community? But instead of only paying for the rent, they have to do something else. So it's their obligation, and it's worth a try.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you want to maybe upcoming policy brief about?
Disaster preparedness. So Steven actually brought up to me, but I'm having the mic, so actually, another work that JCIE and area do other than this award is we write policy briefs on our ARWIN website, and some policy briefs that we came up with is like dental oral care and community-based integrated system. And the upcoming one that we are writing is disaster preparedness, actually. And it actually explains like how disaster preparedness evolved in Japan, like facing like the several big disasters that we had in the past, and some policies that, local policies that is used to like protect older persons as well. So please, if we publish it, please look forward to it, and we look forward to everyone reading it as well. So thank you. It was just our advertisement. And so actually next is our last presenter from Shanghai, Jingmei Care. And this time we had Eileen, the chairwoman from Shanghai, together with Ivy. Yeah. And for this round, Ivy will be making the presentation. And earlier I said like we had like really like young hopes in our team, like including Sebastian, Dr. Don, and I really think Ivy like brought like a really new and fresh air within our team. So I would like to welcome her, like last but definitely not the least. So thank you.
Thank you, Momoko. The words give me let me feel a little bit pressure.
Really? Oh,
But
I didn't mention
But pressure is good for young generation because we need to be brave and courageous to be the last one, but also a new start from the discussion, right? Okay. Thanks. It's my pleasure to be the last one, but not the least one. I hope. First, before my sharing, the first I want to say is that our appreciation. I think on behalf of the whole participants, I think. Thanks, Momoko, Yulojiro, Kim, Steven, and Asuka, and Mr. Kano. Am I pronouncing it right? Yes, really appreciate your considerate organization and the very interesting and very interesting, also intensive organize of this journey. The agenda is really, it gives us so many things to think about, to see, and we got a lot of inspiration and learnings from it, really. Thanks a lot. Okay, and I think I'm gonna start with I think the agenda of this journey has some interesting points. I will explain it later. I will from the first day. This is the picture I took the first day in Sasaki's Sasaki doctor's sharing. He pointed out that technically, I think there are two extents that is interesting about this PPT in this slides. First, he delivers he points out that should we treat every disease as the isolated disease, or it's whole situation, the health situation, including not only physically but also mentally, should we see it as a whole? This is a very good question. Should we see, and how can we treat it? Should we treat a single disease, or we should treat it as a whole problem? If we just look at the brain, look at the heart, it will lead to over meditation. Or if we let's take dementia as a example, then we have no medicine to cure it, to treat it. Then what can we do? So there's no answer, it seems. But when we see it as a whole, then we can do with some things from the nutrition, from the whole immune system to change the situation. That is learning, but it's technically. And I think it caused another thinking for us, that I think our aging community is just like this body, this aging body. We have different problems. We have dementia issues, we have poverty issues, we have women issues, and also maybe children issues. We have a lot of issues. Then if we treat, or we just look at this single issue, and if only a group of people in that area want to find a solution, then maybe what we can do is very little, and it won't change or cure the disease, or we cannot solve the problem. But if we gather together and see the problem as a whole, then maybe we can find something to change the whole situation, the whole community. And it's a very interesting metaphor, I think. Like Jingmei, for us, we are elderly center, and we are an organization focused on dementia. But if only we and only doctors, we are trying to find some solution, then there's no way. And also at the same time, even if we have some medicine to solve this problem, if every issue is solved like that, then it will lead to over medication to the community. We build a whole system for the dementia elderly, we build another system for the children and for the women, then the social resources is not enough, or it's a waste of social resources. So I think we should collaborate together. And then how we collaborate and to solve the problem, that leads to the next slide, which is Professor Akiyama professor. She gives us a methodology and a framework, which is the concept of living lab. We shouldn't depend on a superpower or a super general practitioner to solve the problem. Instead, I think we should build up a team. In this team, we have governors, we can have professional organizations, academies, and even the patient and the family givers themselves, which means residents, the people who live in this community. Then we can build up a team, and to solve the problem, to choose an issue, to solve this issue first. We can have priorities, but how we work, how we solve the problem is that we collaborate together, maybe using the framework and the methodology of Living Lab to solve the problem. And from Professor Akiyama's sharing, she lets us have a clear picture that how it works, how this a Living Lab works. Because we actually, in Shanghai, we have practice or try like cross-cultural communication activities, but actually we don't know where we can get to, because we organize such activities, and yes, everybody is happy, and it build a very friendly atmosphere in the community, and make people more close. And then what? And Professor Akiyama's sharing, she tells us that actually we can use this framework to solve problems. We can make a more step forward, and how it comes, and how to evaluate the outcome. So that is the second day. The second day answered the question of how from the question of the first day. And then we came to the the last part, is that even the many good practice, just like Living Lab, what Akiyama had done in Japan, when we want to introduce it or we use it into our own country, actually we have a lot of discussion with our friends that actually every one of us have to do modify and localization when we do it in our country. Maybe in our country we don't have academy or scholars which has so much fee to start this program, or the governors won't participate at all, then we need to modify. So that comes to the third point that I want to share, which is what I learned from our friends, and also our dear staff, is that we don't just want to copy a solution simply, but every one of us, everybody in this team, in this journey, keep doubting about things, everyone is like, we are rooted in reality and are willing to go deep into the reality, look deep into the reality. And we don't avoid problems. We are not avoid of problems. I remember I've shared after that dinner, that dinner that I said, I'm very touched that the team they take us to see Sasayama, which is not a so advanced and perfect place. And you showed us there are still problems in Japan instead of a very perfect side of Japan. Yeah, so I think that needs courage. And also every friend here, they all have courage to face to the reality, to admit the problem. And I think only from that we can make changes. That is the start point. So that is what I learned from the friends, which I think I really like appreciate, and I think it's our fortune to have such friends, like everyone here. Yeah. And I think that makes, well, then on that, I think we should keep going. This picture, I like it very much because there is shadow in this picture, on this picture, and there's sunshine. And I think maybe we are a group of people stand just between these two parts. And not only the participants, but also the staff of JCIE together, right? And we stand on the ground, but we look up to the sky. I think everyone, we should, from after this journey, it's not the end, but but a new start. I hope that, well, we can come back to our own country and keep making changes for the stage 2. Just as Akiyama sensei said that it's not about aging. Aging is not about aging. It's about life stage 2. It's about new life. So what we are doing, I think we are not discuss about the issue of aging, but of issue of human beings, right? So, well, to make it to end, I think I sincerely wish, because Chinese people likes to make wishes. Before make changes, I think we should make wishes. I sincerely wish everyone here, well, can keep that enthusiastic and keep doubting and be real, and take what we can take back, and to make even little changes, even a little change in our own country for not for the elderly, but for the human being as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ivy.
Can you hear me? Okay, there we go. All right, thank you everyone for your wonderful comments, your impressions. It's really, from our staff's perspective, we've been so honored to be able to share this journey with you and have learned so much from you. So it's wonderful to hear the impressions that you've had as well. Now we have some time for discussion. So to start, I would love to ask maybe Nagamine Sensei, would you like to start? Do you have any thoughts after hearing the comments from all of our participants?
Thank you very much for. Thank you very much. Actually, I did some comments on some presentation, but well, for the Tui-san's presentation regarding Kayoi no Ba in Japan, recently, well, it started in 2010 to create Kayoi no Ba in all over Japan. But recently, during the 5 to 10 years, we are creating workplaces or working opportunity for the people after retirement as social participation. So not only just go, but work in the community as well. And the thing to make the work more flexible is working not only for older people, but also younger people or other people in the community. And for your sites about the団地ってなんていうんですか英語でhousing complex. About the housing complex, it is quite a big challenge in Japan because housing complex was built during 1970s. That was the 高度経済成長期. At the time of economic Japanese super growth, so the population was also increasing at the moment. So the housing complex was built so many places. But the population in that complex is also aging. So recently, as a new challenge, young people are creating the long-term care insurance service in that complex. So one of the service is called Shokibo Takino. That service has home care and also home visiting care and also daycare and also resident care. So that's kind of a complex service facility というか room というか So if that kind of service is in the complex, that can help the life of the older people in complex. So one of the challenge was awarded in 2010 in Singapore award situations. So that was one of the example as a challenge to tackle the problem. And anything else? Well, just so far, yes, I have those comments. Thank you very much. I was really impressed by your thoughts and your presentation and your vision, kind of. So I'm really looking forward to have that discussion ongoing. Yes, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much. Kano-san, would you like to make a few comments on what you've heard?
First of all, just to supplement what she said, in regards to your point, all the points that you raised is very workable. I mean, very important. But as she said, Japanese population has increased dramatically since 150 years ago. At the time of Meiji Restoration, 1868, Japanese population used to be just 12 million. And just after that, approximately 100 million people were born, especially at the time of big growth during 1950s, 60s, 70s. You know, we have to cope with so many things, including regulating the traffic accident and so on. In 1970 or 68, during that time, can you imagine how many people were dead, how many children were dead because of traffic accident? More than 12,000 people, which is equivalent to the same casualty at the time of China-Japan war. You know, it was called traffic war. And we have to build a lot of, buildings, which is now, very old-fashioned. And, diversity is a very important, key words. Your presentation were perfect and very attractive, and I'm very impressed in many terms. And as I said, the human being is such a social animal. And secret to the longevity is very much attributed by the close relationship and the social integration. People are such a creature that wants to be recognized by somebody. And it reminds me of my wife's mother's comments and my mother's comments. My father passed away quite a long time ago. But my mother is still alive and active at the age of 92, and she wants to be independent. At the time when my father passed away, nearly 28 years ago, we wanted to sell the house, but she wanted to stay. I am the castle manager, or something like that. That's why she could, live, very, very active now. And the same for my wife's father and mother. And they have been very active. And we want them to stay together with us. But they refused. As you mentioned, they wanted to die at the birthplace. They didn't want to move. That's why we of course, we can't say anything. We can't force them. But it turned to be true, I think. It's very important. And one of the other point which I remember is my son's teacher or an expert's comment which came to my son's school as a lecturer. It was 25 years ago. And he came straight for it from getting off the railway station, went through the, shops and, and down to the elementary school. The first comment he said was, "Oh, this school shouldn't have any problems for bullying." Everybody was surprised. Why you can say that? Yeah, because You are surrounded by the local shops and local stores, and you have a community. And he said, children wouldn't obey what parents say, but the children would obey what the local liquor shops master says to the sons and the daughters and etc. As far as you can keep the local society, it should be good. And he also said the worst case is, residential place, with high salaries, and which were created artificially at the time of boom of the Japanese economy, because generations are very homogeneous, and everybody believes, oh, we are unique. My son is unique. My daughter is unique. They tend to be very selfish, and a lot of bullying issues at the schools near at those residential places. That shows something. And Yokohama's case is fantastic in terms of increasing the diversity of the generation and many aspects. That could be one of the key to try to solve this kind of issue, I believe. I have so many comments, but I should stop now because of the limited time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kano-san, for sharing your thoughts. Now I'd like to ask Sakurai-san from the Cabinet Secretariat if she has some thoughts to share.
ありがとうございます。私はですね、Government of Japan のキャビネットオフィスの、National Healthcare Policy Secretariat でダイレクターをしています桜井と言います。いつもヘルスケア、介護を含むヘルスケアの国際化の担当をしていて、10月はケニアとタンザニアに行っていました。で、先月の末からですね、先週にかけてはベトナムのハノイに行って、どうやってエイジングをそのハノイでの対策を広げていくかっていうのを議論をしたりということをしていました。今日本当に素晴らしい皆さんのプレゼンテーションをお伺いできて本当に良かったなというふうに思っています。で、コメントと言われ、なかなかちょっと消化しきれていないところもございますけれども、3点ほどコメントをさせていただきたいなというふうに思っています。まず1点目ですね。今日朝、加納理事長とお話をさせていただいたときに、女性のプレゼンスが変わったよねと、社会でたくさん女性が活躍するようになったよねというお話をいただきました。で、その時代によって、社会を取り巻く状況によって、そういう女性のプレゼンスが変わってきたように、そのエイジングソサエティが皆さんの国でどういう状況かによって求められる制度って違うのかなというふうに思って聞いておりました。今日介護保険日本にあるのがとてもユニークだよねというプレゼンテーションございましたけれども、実はその日本の介護保険が導入されたのって2000年なんですね。昔その日本が経済成長すごくしていた頃、多分1960年ぐらいだと思いますけれども、その頃っていうのは、家族が高齢者の面倒を見るというのが当たり前の時代で、もしかしたら皆さんの国でも同じようなその文化、考え方っていうの強いんじゃないかなというふうに思います。それがですね、だんだん都市が発達して、みんな東京に行きたいとかですね、若い人が東京に出て行って、核家族化っていうんですかね、おじいちゃんおばあちゃんとは違う、子供は子供だけで済むみたいなことが浸透していって、じゃあ社会で高齢者を支える仕組みを作んなくちゃいけないとなってきてですね、どうやって仕組みを作ろうかって言って、出来上がってきたのが、その地域包括ケアであったり、介護保険の仕組みであったりなんですね。で、最近ではですね、その超高齢化を通り越して、もうハイパーエイジングソサエティっていうのが今日本で来ている。で、そんな中で今、その日本の政府が考えているのは、その地域包括ケアの仕組みをより発展させて、ICT 技術なんかも使いながら、どうやって高齢者を社会で支えていこうかっていうことを考えていたりします。私たちもですね、問題山積 どうやってこの社会、高齢者の人をハッピーな暮らし支えていくか、非常に迷っていて、で今日皆さんと本当にこういうオープンマインドでこういうオープンディスカッションできたこと、本当にありがたいなと思っています。今日は本当に勉強させていただきましてありがとうございます。この感謝が1点目のコメントということになります。2点目のコメントですけれども、皆さんからありましたように、その高齢者をどういうふうに幸せにサポートしていくかって、やっぱりそのキーエレメントは、その楽しむこと、エンジョイだと思ってます。最初の冒頭の基調講演で、その、歩数計を使ったそのマイレージのシステム、これを本当に事業のサステナブルにするために大切な要素かなと思ってます。あれを聞きながら私が思い出したのは、ポケモン GO って皆さん知ってますか？ゲーム、流行ってて。で、確かにポケモン GO が流行った時に、私のお父さん、父は、運動嫌いなんですけど、ポケモン GO が流行った時だけ、たくさんお散歩をしていたなと。で、その時にですね、よく血圧とかもなんかこう、ちょっと運動意識が高くなったのか、血圧を測ったりしてたなというのをよく思い出しました。最近ではですね、日本でもシリアスゲームって呼ばれていて、こう、ゲームを用いて高齢者の運動習慣をつけるとか、そういう取り組みも始まっています。で、今日のプレゼンテーションの中で、高齢者が社会で活動するスポーツの写真だったり、あとはその餅つきの写真だったり、そういったものを拝見しました。やっぱり楽しくね、やるってことが大事かなと思ってます。もう一つ思い出したのが、その去年のハピ賞の授賞式で、それこそ、安倍さんがいないかな？安倍さんがですね、高齢者が交流しやすい街づくりに関するですね、発表、本当に素晴らしい発表を行っていらっしゃった、あれを思い出しました。多分、都市をどういうふうに作っていくかとかですね、今日はコンプレックス、住宅の、お話もありましたけれども、そういう仕組み作りっていうのも、日本も考えていかなきゃいけないし、もしかしたら皆さんも何か今日考えるヒントがあったら嬉しいなというふうに思っています。で、ファイナルコメントですけれども、皆さん、日本食、ジャパニーズテイスト、ジャパニーズプレート、ジャパニーズディナー、楽しんでいただいて本当に良かったなと思ってます。私も和食大好きなので、ぜひですね、また皆さん日本に来ていただいて、美味しい和食を食べながら、エイジングどうやっていくか、一緒に考えていけたらいいかなと思ってます。以上、長くなりましたけれども、本当に今日ありがとうございました。Thank you very much for the invitation today.
Thank you so much, Sakurai-san. All right. We're kind of at the end of time. Do we have time for any more discussions, or are we 5 minutes more? Okay, and then we'll have closing. Okay, so we have a few more minutes, just a few. Does anyone else have some comments or questions that they'd like to offer? Yes, Dr.
Thank you for. Okay, I have questions because about the healthcare economic evaluations. So because as we learned from 3 days, there are many activity. Some are welfare program, and this kind of activity cost support by the long-term care insurance and the municipality. So, and I think the cost maintenance will be high and higher in the future. So, and maybe it need more a heavy tax or collect more premium. So what Japan will do next to deal with the burden cost of the healthcare expenditure? Thank you.
無理せず日本語でいきます。これちょっと難しい話なので。まずYes, because it's really, really complex. complicated thing, sorry. で、例えば2000年のスタート、介護保険制度がスタートした時の、介護保険のプレミアムは2000円台だったんですよね。2500円、2900円ぐらい。日本語で。ただ今はもう6000円台ぐらいになっているので、2倍になっています。だからそれはつまりどういうことかというと、about double. about double. で、それは 介護保険制度を使う人たちも増えているし、当然サービスのパターンも増えているので、どちらもあるとは思うんですが、介護保険制度のコストも上がってきているし、合わせて医療保険のコストも上がってきていると。で、これどういうふうに日本で今調整をしているかというと、2年に一度、医療の診療報酬改定というのがあります。で、これに、大丈夫ですか？ OK。介護保険も介護保険の報酬改定というのが3年に一度あります。で、今年実はその同時改定というのが今行われておりまして、私も今ハゲそうなんですが私も今ちょっと大変時間をかけてやってるところなんですが、今すでにあるポイント制度みたいなもんなんですね。例えば、じゃあ注射を1本打ったらいくら、例えば介護保険であればこのサービスに対してはいくらというのが全てついているというのが報酬制度になっていて、それがサービス事業者が最初に私が説明をしたように請求をして、9割部分保険者から返ってきて1割はアウトオフポケット利用者さんから返ってくるという制度なんですが、この点数を調整することで、今の時代に合った医療制度や介護保険の制度というのを作るということをやっています。で、この中で特にお金がかかりすぎているけれども今これって必要なのかというところについては点数を下げ、他のより必要なところに点数を上げに行く。で、全体としてはなるべくシュリンクさせるということを頑張ってやろうとはしているんですが、様々なステークホルダーの様々な思惑によりですね、なかなかここは難しいところもありまして、みんなで議論をしながら1年かけて作り込むということをやっています。ただ、もうさすがに、ここまで来てずっとエクスパンドし続ける、その医療費も介護費も、エクスパンドし続けるというのは難しいので、いろんな議員さんたちからもですね、今回はもう絶対にシュリンクさせろという動きが、あちらこちらからあるというところで、実際これを、日本政府がどこまで、厚生労働省がですね、どこまでこれをやっていけるかというのが、今、一生懸命私たちが取り組んでいるところですね。はい。
Okay. Does that answer your question, hopefully? Are there any, do we have one more? Ivy, or no? Eileen?
No, Eileen.
Okay.
So
great,
thank you very much. I just want to add one suggestion. That is, actually for this trip, we have lots of the learning, and we also, for every one of us, think of something to do when we are back. And I think that maybe we can keep some momentum to for this to keep going and keep connect with each other. Especially maybe for some 3 or 6 months, we can have some online discussion or something like that, so that we can do something to just not talking about it, but to make it happen and see what we can do gradually. So maybe Ivy can add some more.
Well, actually, what I want to say is just as Eileen said that we have like each of one of us. I think we have some ideas wanted to make it in practice in our own country. Like us, we want to introduce the QR nail jelly sticker into our community. But also we have some thinking that why it has been almost 3 to 4 years, only more than 100 senior in Iluma City are even using this. But I know because but compared to the input of the government, the outcome seems to it's not that cost efficient, and time efficient. And we are thinking that for the elderly, is that possible that we let all the dementia friends, all the volunteers to have a sticker at the same time? Then this sticker won't be a mark of dementia people, but also a dementia friendly group, including the people, the elderly people. But anyway, we're gonna try and in our own country and we can share our practice and to see if it may not work. We don't know, but we can share. So back to our suggestion that we have a little wish or suggestion that we can like gather together every year or every like 6 months to share our practice and to help each other to analyze the problems or difficulties we're facing and solve the problem, to figure out how we can solve the problem, or is there any other way, or what I can do if I meet this kind of situation in my country. What can I do? I think we can like organize such a 6 months. We can do it online or we can pay it ourselves, so no worry, Mr. Kendall. Yeah, this is our session.
6 months from now, we'll do it. We promise. Yes, we will. We can do that online, definitely. I think we have one more person who'd like to comment before we wrap up. So, is there someone?
Okay, thank you. First, I would like to thanks to JCIE. You have achieved your goal by the name of the organization, that we have exchanged our point of views in this very, very important occasion today. And thank you very much for that. And I'm not conclusion, but this is a good way that we can share the idea from other countries as well. And then I agree with that. If you have the network of this to play safe, you can communicate online. 6 months or whatever it is, like via Zoom or via WhatsApp, whatsoever it is. It is I myself very pleased. As being an older person, I'm 77, and I saw the youngest people, 27. That means how many years we are apart, and we work for our future, and everyone will reach there. Reach there, it means being older people with better quality of life, generation by generation. So this is very good significance and very good way of the exchange. We have other network, like a network under HelpAge International Network in Asia and the Pacific, and we also have Alliance of Longevity in Asia and the Pacific. So why not we have another network here, but we can communicate more frequently. And thank you very much for inviting me to join this, my second time after 20 years ago I came to Tokyo. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, and for some closing comments, I would like to turn to our colleague from Eria, Asuka Manatani.
Well, do I need to stand here? So anyway, perhaps I don't need to lap up. Everybody already lapped up. But thank you for sharing your thoughts for this study tour. from Chinese friends, they shared the sustainable safety net and continuous and the involvement of and the very beneficial analytics SWOT and the future plan for evacuation and methodology for sharing the questions how to input Japanese lessons to Chinese. So thank you very much. And also from Thailand friends, they mentioned the importance of understanding and capacity building on the caregivers and neighbors in each community and updating policies in Thailand, in addition to the importance of social connections. And also the friend from Vietnam, she emphasized the significance of co-working together and intergeneration, and also multi-sectoral involvement. Thank you very much. I'm very glad to know you enjoyed this tour, and this opportunity apparently became a great trigger to enhance your future activities. As my closing remarks, key takeaways from me are the two. Firstly, please consider how to adapt Japanese lessons into your state. In order for that, clarifying the current challenge in your country and you are facing is necessary. In addition, it is also significant to identify from which point you can change. For instance, if the relevant policy doesn't exist in your country, so maybe adapting Japanese model would be impossible. One of journalists here today, but he asked yesterday our colleagues from Thailand how to bring back Japanese integrated care into Thailand if there are not similar policy in your country. But our Thailand colleague responded to the question that there is a system, but our Thailand caregiving, nursing care quality and quantities are quite low. So it is a problem, she said. And so another Thailand colleague told me that Thailand have enforced several wonderful laws on nursing cares. However, implementations are very, very insufficient. So how to overcome those problems and how to realize the points you learned from this experience, I would be very, very grateful for trying to find out your answers in each place. Probably I just use Thailand, but it is an example. So there may be other many problems respectively, not only in Thailand and of course, but also other states, including Japan, as you noticed. Give us a case of Sasayama housing complex. They are struggling to find out a good way for attracting younger generation as their challenges. Yet, it is still in the midst of the way. I assume their problems contain several causes, such as labor issues, steep planning issues, residence aging issues, or so on. So that is to say, aging is just one of angles for seeing our society. Actually, the issue is covered by various social factors. For example, if we say a problem for caregivers, in a nutshell, it has lack of human resources, system of capacity building, licensing in the country, or etc. So aging also contains a lot of very, very, very various problems. Hence, I'd like all of you to delve into an effective way how to leverage Japanese experiences in your practical activities from now on. Secondly, I would appreciate if you could share your knowledges and insights which you gained in this opportunity to your country. I'm hoping this network for sharing best practices in Asia will be broadened, and someday you could invite us to your place as a great example in Asia for the future HAPI study tour. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. So you will be the destination of the HAPI study tour. Moreover, I also wish the HAPI award becoming a more beneficial award for potential applicants. Thus, please cooperate with us on advertising the award in order to collect many, numerous, or immense numbers of applicants. So I am relying on all of you, and especially Ivy, please use the social networking service. So as a final note, I would like to express our gratitude to high appreciation to JCIE members, Kim, Momoko, Stephen, Yojiro, and of course Ito-san and Kono-san. Kano-san, Kano-san, for the brilliant arrangements of the study tour and joint efforts with Elia in making this HAPI award. I'm also really impressed by the participants this time. You've never touched a smartphone during the presentation, not only today, but I mean the whole entire tour, and you were really dedicated to all visit sites. Sometimes you overwhelmed the speaker. You asked many things. So, okay, wait. I really appreciate your attitude too. So, thank you. 谢谢。サワディーカ。Come on. ありがとうございます。And terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you, Asuka, and of course, thank you to Aria and thank you for Asuka for coming all the way from Jakarta to join. And we really hope this partnership and the network that we made this time will flourish further in the future. And of course, to advertise the 4th HAPI. You are the winners of the first 3 HAPI, but the 4th HAPI is upcoming next year, 2024, from February. So we really would like to have your cooperation in disseminating this network further, that we will have like a bigger family. So thank you again. And so to make some logistic memo, we will have like lunch actually in this room. It will be like a catering service. So we would, the staff will be making some arrangements with the table. So maybe please give us 5 to 10 minutes for that. But meanwhile, it would be great if you could clear the things from your table and put it aside, maybe by the chair. Yep. And so that we can bring in the food. and please feel free to network among yourselves as well. Thank you. The restrooms, is outside. So, yeah. Yes.
Take advantage of it.